Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Spectrum Drama, where we take a look at the hottest posts on Spectrum for the week and give our opinions on them. Okay, so before we get started, we just want to let you know that we will be running a giveaway again very soon, hopefully middle of next week, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And also I hope you're all staying safe, so don't forget, follow DBC's guidelines in my crazy bearded video, yeah, avoid people. There you go, that's the advice. But I think that's pretty much it, so let's get started. Okay, so first up we've got a post from Tiffy, and it says, after playing the first few hours of Half-Life Alyx, I hope CIG will keep their promise of Kickstarter regarding virtual reality. And so if you haven't seen, Half-Life Alyx, which is the newest Half-Life, is VR only. And is insane. It's amazing. It's awesome. I will be buying it. And it is everyone's hope that Star Citizen will become a virtual reality game, as they did promise. It's not even like they sort of said, oh, we're thinking about it. It's something that they said will happen. And I know that Chris is eager to have VR. So, oh man, I literally can't wait to play this game in VR. I think it will give it a whole new depth for me anyway.
yeah, I'm pretty sure loads of people would be jumping on this straight away. But yeah, I mean, I think we've spoken about this before.
Yeah,
a few months ago. There's definitely some tech that they need to work on, and it's not a major priority for them, but it is something they definitely want to get in. No, there's actually a post here from one of the CIG devs talking about how he'd like to get a full body kit in. But yeah, I'm not sure how they work that. I could see people going with like full immersion and having like a kind of, I don't know, yeah, it'd be kind of weird, wouldn't it? Like standing up with a VR kit on, but you're piloting a ship. Would that not feel a bit odd?
Yeah, I mean, I played No Man's Sky, and the way I play that is I stand up when I'm doing any kind of the usual stuff, you know, running around, picking up things, shooting stuff. But the minute that I get into my cockpit, I sit down on the end of my bed, and there's just a button, a really quick button to just reset your view. So they could do something like that. Maybe it knows, you know, when you get into a ship, it can intelligently reset your view. Something like that, maybe. It would be awesome. I think that, like you said, there's a hell of a lot of limitations at the minute. As you know, this is years and years off, because just the controls themselves, it would be so mind-boggling to try and get right. Everything would have to be touch in the ship for a start. Absolutely everything, because nothing kind of takes you out of immersion in VR than having to remember button combinations or something like that. You know, you just want to be able to reach forward and touch everything, so like you would in real life. So there's a lot that would have to change. But I can see it. I can definitely see this being VR. I've played it in a very basic level called Vorpex. So you can play this now in VR. It's just terrible. It really is not good. So I don't recommend it.
Don't do that.
But no, don't do that. If you wanna get up out of your bed, walk around a bit, look at stuff, get in a ship, almost vomit, and leave, that's going to be your experience if you use Vorpex. So yeah. But no, I can't wait.
Yeah, like you said, with the amount of button combinations that are in this game, I'm not sure how they would have to make everything extremely tactile in the game. Like every button would have to be a pressable thing, and there's lots of animations and things that come with that they'd have to figure out. I could see a lot of work to get it going, but if they did it right, that could be just absolute amazing level of immersion.
I can't imagine seeing VR players playing with pancake players, to be honest, because it would have to be very different. Like you said, every button has to be physical and you have to touch it and it has to push in and stuff, you know. And it's like when we play Payday 2 and I'm playing in VR and you guys are playing normal. It works, but it's weird because I look very different when I move and everything I do is odd to you guys. To me it looks fine, you know. So there'd be a hell of a lot of work to get those two worlds to mesh. But yeah, I can see it happening. And as far as immersion goes, I mean, you're never going to get anything that feels bigger than that game in VR, because it's just so immense as it is. And I'd love to walk around like a Carrack or something like that, but in VR. That would just be amazing. Even if they just did it as experiences, like VR experiences, little standalone things. That would be amazing. Cool. So next up, we've got a post from Anthony A. Crassier, and it says, "Why are the vocal minorities stuck on low tech? Yeah, this is kind of an attack, but so many hardcore defenders of every weird mechanic that put into this game defend it with the battle cry realism. And every time something is made easier to use, it's criticised with the battle cry immersion." Basically, the gist is you can't really win. Most people are kind of stuck in this weird mentality that Chris Roberts himself seems to be stuck in, with this World War II in space, that, you know, we're talking so far in the future, and yet there's still tech in the game which is, we've surpassed now, in the current day, we've surpassed this futuristic game, and it makes no sense. And people are always moaning, oh no, but, you know, it adds to the realism. Does it? Does it really? Is it realistic that, you know, in the future they've gone backwards? It just doesn't make sense to me.
No, I'm kind of with you on that one. Like you say, there is a lot of kind of low-tech things in the game, which you would hope they would iterate on a little bit and sort of futurize it a little bit. But yes, Chris Roberts was originally going for this, you know, Star Wars, World War II in space kind of feel to the game, and that's fair enough. If you're aiming for a specific theme in a game, that's fine, but there's a few inconsistencies which kind of throw this off. The other part of I'm not quite sure about what his latest attack on the radial menu is about. I haven't followed it that intensely, so I'm not quite sure what he's talking about, but I have seen a few people moan about it, which kind of, it doesn't really make sense to me either, because the radial menu is not a hologram HUD as such. It kind of looks like one, but it's not that. The radial menu is a version 2 of the inner thought system, if you like. It's just a menu that is used for some things. It's not actually an extension of the mobiGlas or anything like that. It's rather than having floating text all over the place when you want to push something, you've got this kind of brain projection, but it's not a projection. It's really it's hard to get across, but
it's not physicalized.
No, it's not meant to be. It's just a quick access for a few in-game actions. That's all it is. And this other argument about the whole realism versus rule is cool. I see a lot of this, especially with like the recent space whale concept art that went out. Some of the backers kind of went a bit crazy about the space whale. How can you have a space whale? It can't live in space, and all this sort of bullshit. I mean, you know, you're sporting realism in a game, in a virtual game about science fiction. It doesn't work. You've got guns firing laser bolts. You've got this, you know, random materials that we use for trading, and what's the quantum fuel called? Quantanium or something? Bullshit like that. And then they're worrying about space whales. I mean, come on. We want some cool things in the game, because it's a game. We want it to be cool.
That's the problem, is that people, if you go too far into realism, then what's the point in playing a game if it's super real? I mean, alright, fair enough, if it's a flight sim, you want that to be as realistic as is humanly possible, to feel like you're flying, but yeah, I mean, I don't see a problem with a whale. I mean, who's to say that wasn't specially engineered by some far advanced race who managed to figure out a way for a whale-looking thing to be able to survive in space? There's nothing to say it can't. I mean, apart from our current science, but ignore that. You know, it's I don't see the problem with it. I think that's the problem, though, is that people, they're either going one way or the other. They're either going, no, we want this game to be you know, easy and old school, or we want it to be hyper realistic. And I think we just need to get some middle ground where it's fun to play, has some advancements. Maybe I'm not running around with a flintlock pistol, or something. But yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Chris Roberts needs to make up his mind what he's making, I think.
He's just spitballing really and seeing what sticks.
Yeah.
But then I don't think there's like two camps. I don't think there's like ultra realism versus all cool camp. I think people kind of float between the two depending on what feature they're talking about, and kind of applying it where it suits them. And I just find it a bit wary. It wears me out a little bit of the constant sort of battle for full-on realism in a virtual space game made up by some guy.
There's a comment from Alistair which basically says Star Citizen is obviously retrofuturism. Obviously. It's not any attempt at predicting what our civilizations will look like 1,000 years in the future. That is not the appeal. What, to you?
To you, or what?
Whose appeal? Where is this written down that the appeal of this game wasn't meant to be a look to the future of a civilization that lives in space? It's exactly what the game is.
Exactly what it is.
and then he moans about stuff, but the one thing that really pissed me off is there's one here where he says, we have fighters with pilots on board instead of remote-controlled drones. You're like, no, we have drones. The people in the spaceships are going places. We're not just all gonna... It's gonna end up being like, what is that film where no one actually goes out? They all live in like this fake body that walks around for them. It was Bruce Willis film. God, I can't remember the name of it, but that bloody film.
No, that was a Keanu Reeves one, I think. That was a bit weird film as well. Anyway, digressing.
But get sidetracked. But yeah, basically, it's not going to be like that. We're all just going to sit in our habs and then have the world go on without us. We want to be in it and enjoying it. So it's not... Some of the arguments that people give are just a bit daft. And they probably think in their brain, yes, I'm right. But no one's right, I think, really, when it comes to this game. I think we're all very wrong until proven right, basically, when this game comes out. So I don't know. It's a minefield, and I do feel bad for the devs that make these things. They come out and then people are like, crap, don't like it, not real, or whatever. You just think, give it a couple of iterations. Okay, so next up we've got a post from Leonin, and it says, anyone else just waiting? So he used to log on and play Star Citizen almost every day. Lately low, log on for a few hours or maybe a few days every couple of months and lose interest. And yes, they've added a bunch of stuff, and there is more to do in this game with mining and stuff like that. But it's gotten to that point now where I think a lot of people have just kind of done it. They've done it. And so I mean, I feel that way a little bit now because obviously we have played it quite a lot, and I kind of go on now and just float around. I mean, do you have the same problem?
Oh yeah. Me personally, I've got a very diminished drive to actually get on the game lately, and I know quite a few people in our Discord have said the same thing. It's just we're waiting for big systems to come online so we can actually test those. But what people need to remember is this is an alpha, and we're just meant to be testing. I actually feel sorry for people that do log on and play this every day, because why? Just why? Don't burn yourself out like that. Wait until it's more complete before you play it every day. It's not at that state yet. It's probably not going to be for another year or so.
Yeah, it's not really designed that way at the minute to be just your main game. I mean, sure, for a while I think it was. I mean, we would go on all the time and play, and but like 3.9 will come out, and then yes, a lot of people will be back and they'll be playing it for a while.
Definitely.
Then they'll get burned. You'll get burned out again, and then it goes in stages, because again, that's the alpha. They bring something new out, we get on, get excited, test it for free, and then move on, play something else for a while. I think that is just the nature of this game, really. Yeah.
I've seen quite a few people actually just proper grinding money to buy ships, and that's fine because CIG want us to test that. That's part of the reason why the first version of Persistence is in. So if you've got the time to do that, that's great. But don't burn yourself out on it.
Cool. So last up, we've got a post from Aaron T, and it says, "Loving everything Star Citizen, but please decrease the number of the rocks on the moon so we can enjoy our cyclones, etc. Lol." We've talked about this a lot. Rocks are a pain in the arse, and there's too many of them.
Many times. Every time we get in a ground vehicle, this comes up. Why is there rocks everywhere?
Everywhere.
Literally everywhere. There's not one flat piece of ground in the game.
No. I think I've enjoyed about 2 drives since we played this game, since the dawn of time. Mostly because of bugs. But any other time, I've really not enjoyed going out for a drive in anything on most of the moons, just because you can't travel 2 feet with any speed before you're having to slow down and manoeuvre through rocks. They do need some open areas for us to really let these things go and have some fun, because, man, yeah, nobody bothers driving in bloody ground vehicles anymore.
No. Especially planets like Daymar or, Daymar. Maybe Hurston. You
Hurston,
could have some.
Yeah, definitely.
Could have some kind of salt flat, areas. There's no rocks. You just put some ground vehicles down and have a race. Why is everything a rally? You can't do full-on drag race in Star Citizen. You can do a rally, but you can't do a drag race.
Yeah, they need to think Nevada. That's what they need to think. That flat, desert-y type look. Just find somewhere like that, plonk it in, and then go. There you go. There's your dust bowl. Go and have some fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you have it, folks. That is all the posts for this week. We hope you liked them. We hope you found them informative or amusing. If you did like them, then don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more Star Citizen content. And don't forget to get into that comment section and let us know your thoughts on these posts. We love to hear your opinions on these things. And it's good to get kind of a broad cross-section of everyone's opinions. So Spectrum doesn't count because none of your opinions are valid. No, obviously that's not true. We love you, Spectrum. But yeah, so thanks everyone very, very much for watching. Don't forget to keep your eyes peeled for the giveaway that's coming up very, very soon. Don't forget to stay inside. Follow your guidelines. It sounds like the Purge. Follow your rules and you won't die. But
yourselves.
Yeah, that's it. Get yourself a shotgun. Go out into the garden and just scream at people that come near you. No, we don't advise that. But yeah, definitely wash your hands a lot. Stuff like that. I think that's pretty much it. So thanks everyone very, very much for watching. And we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.